Jessica Garcia.
Present.
Sue Chung.
Here.
Ellen John.
Present.
Kevin Lim.
Kevin, here.
Rebecca Lee.
Present.
Anthony Kim. William Kim.
Here.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Dr. Cirillo.
Present.
John McCann. Here. Thank you.
Okay, in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 PM 1975, I hereby state that adequate notice of this regular meeting has been provided to the public by a written notice dated January 15, 2023, date of published notice. The meeting notice has been emailed to all staff members at the district's 3 school locations, communicated to at least one of the board designated newspapers, filed with the board clerk of Palisades Park. Now, we are going to review and discuss resolutions to be voted on at the regular meeting. Okay, let's just start with Finance, William Kim, please.
There's 16 items, I'll open it up to discussion and questions for Dr. Cirillo.
Any other questions?
Number 8.
So I wanted to bring the board's attention to number 8, before there are, I guess, questions. And I'm glad Ms. Rebecca Lee, you did point this one out. So if the board members can reflect number 8 on finance, please. The third item in that resolution says Englewood School of Choice. We currently have 38 students attending that program. Englewood is not an academy. Bergen Technical Schools are academy programs. Englewood is a school of choice. We are responsible, just like every other school in Bergen County, to provide transportation for those students. It is budgeted by way of a contract issued to our Board of Education for 38 students to go to Englewood, the amount of $196,560 for a full year. Because they are a choice program, we and every other school district who sends students can provide something called aid in lieu. In lieu of transportation, we provide a payment to the families. That rate is determined by the Department of Education. That rate is $1,165. Although I don't want to be rash in a decision tonight and pull the plug on those 38 families and transportation, I do want to make the board aware that if we provided aid in lieu for the full year to Englewood, it would be approximately $44,000, not $196,000. We have a fiscal responsibility to be smart, but we also want to be compassionate to the families that are going there. So, because that number is so high, and we are devoting a full bus, we are not sharing that route with another school district like we do with other of our other routes. My recommendation is that we should consider, effective January 1, 2024, we provide a prorated amount to the families that would give them the next few months to figure out a way, means of transportation. There is no restriction against us to do so. I spoke to the bus company. I have yet to sign any contract with them for the year. Okay, this is budgeting our dollars and being fiscally responsible, in my opinion.
So just question that, so the public district provide to the school of choice, is that the stage, regional stage, or is it solely deferred to our board disease?
So Englewood Academies, they were referred to as the Englewood Academies. They no longer are Englewood Academies. They're Englewood School of Choice now.
What kind of students can go there to school?
Any student. They can apply just like they do to Bergen Technical Schools, and they can be accepted. They're a choice program. They accept students from throughout the county of Bergen.
So any students can want to go like a private school, like the Holy Angels?
No.
Can we?
No, that's a private school. This is a public school. This is Dwight Morrow High School.
Mhm.
Students are going to Dwight Morrow High School in Englewood. They are a choice school. They will accept students. We are not responsible for tuition. Englewood receives money from the Department of Education for the students who go to school there. We
So
are
the parents
responsible
pay
for
the tuition
transportation.
for that school?
Students do not pay. The Department of Education compensates Englewood Board of Education for the students. We do not receive the funding for those students. They are not our students. But we are responsible for transportation. We are now able to provide aid in lieu. In place of transportation, we have to provide them with a payment. If we don't provide transportation, we have to issue a payment. 38 students times $1,165 is somewhere in the neighborhood of $44,000.
Is that figure that you're quoting, is that governed by New Jersey state law?
That $1,165 was
Perfect.
issued to me from the
Okay.
State Department of Education. That is determined by the
In terms
state.
of what we would, the amount that we would be providing to the families in lieu of that amount, is that governed by New Jersey state
Yes,
law?
it is.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
The question becomes, if we prorate the duration instead of the full year, are we responsible for a full payment of $1,165 or the prorated amount of the remaining 6 months? That is yet to be determined.
Right, we don't know.
But even if it was the prorated, if it was the full amount, there would still be a substantial savings to our district. Because in our finance meeting, as we discussed, even if we did a 5-month, this is 10-month window. If we did a 5-month window, half of 196,560 is 98,280.
Right. It's still,
January is not 5 months, January is 4 months. If we did 4 months, someone calculated 78,624. So if we did 78,624, and worst case scenario, we were responsible for the full $44,000, we would still be well below the 196,000. I still don't believe that we would be responsible for the full payment because we provided transportation for 4 months. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And just to be clear,
The
I'm
number of
sorry.
the high school students?
I'm sorry?
Number of high school students, 9 to 12. How many students we have?
38.
No. I mean, our school.
Over in the school district.
So I was prepared for that question, but not for the high school specifically. Currently, we have 1,759 in our district. Let's see who's quicker, me or that young man over there. Oh, of course, service unavailable. He's gonna win. He blocked my internet. I'm gonna give you a high school number shortly. But keep in mind, our high school,
Just locally.
roughly 7 through 12, I'm gonna say 650. 733, sorry.
From
That's
7
junior
through
high,
12.
that's
there's
the high.
junior high, not the high. High is
9
like
through 12,
400.
Christian. I know we're not in public, but
So calculated that the 86 students is
Not
20% of the high school students are go to the other schools, and 10% goes to school of choice of our high school students, right?
then
So we have to pay the transportation for them.
we have to pay tuition and transportation for the other students. For a school of choice, we only pay transportation. I'm not sure what your question is.
Okay, what I'm saying is, okay, some students, okay, do not like the Palisades Park High School, can go this school of choice anytime and anywhere, and we pay the transportation.
You have to go through testing.
You
and
have
they
to be
apply
accepted.
and accept it.
You have to be accepted. You cannot just go.
Yeah, of course, it could be accepted, yeah, I know, yeah.
And many
But
students-
anybody wants to, with good record, they can go there.
We had 2 students move to Palisades Park from Englewood Cliffs over the summer that were accepted from Englewood Cliffs, and now we're responsible for their transportation. This is common. I've seen this over the years. We've had kids move here from Demorest, from Northern Highlands. We've had kids get accepted into Bergen Technical Schools, move to Palisades Park, because they don't wanna pay the taxes in other municipalities. And now we are responsible for tuition and transportation. School of choice, we are just responsible for transportation.
So what if they're attending school of choice and they move to a different district?
We are not responsible anymore. Bergen Technical Schools, we just started a campus at Old Japan. It's a new program.
I know, but the
Can't stop.
Bergen Technical School have some limitation of number of school per town, right?
Correct.
But
Per
it looks
town,
like
until-
this school of choice doesn't have any limitation.
They
for
do
the
have it,
students,
Mr.
number of
Shin.
students.
When they move here,
Yeah.
when they move here, they were not accepted from Palisades Park. I have fought that battle with the county multiple times. When they moved to Palisades Park, they were not originally accepted from Palisades Park. They were accepted from other municipalities.
They weren't accepted because we reached to the max.
Yes, ma'am. Chris, do you have a number of 9 through 12? 4, 8, 8, 9, thank you.
So about the 8 or 9% of our high school students go to the school of choice.
No,
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 38 by
less than 10%.
less than 10, no, 8 or 9%, that's
Oh,
what
I'm
I'm
sorry, I
saying.
misunderstood you.
So number 9.
Yes, ma'am.
So high school construction, has that included the HVAC there, or?
Yes.
Was that? I was really curious about what's happening 2 weeks ago, and high school had no AC.
High school will not have AC until, and what was discussed previously, until at best next spring or probably summer. The chiller was ordered, that is a 53-week lead time from when it was ordered. So there's no way to have air conditioning in the high school without a chiller. That was going over the boiler room, excuse me. We knew that going in. Fortunately, we were able to sustain the first few days of school. I think, a credit to the board members approving the calendar and the first 2 days being half days for students was very forward-thinking, and yes, it was done for professional development of our teachers. But I'm grateful that many of the kids were home and hopefully a more climate-controlled setting.
So was it unexpected, or?
No, I fully expected there to be no air conditioning until next year.
Okay.
This building is done, I reported that last month.
Right, yeah.
Lindbergh has, their three boilers with no air conditioning, boilers for heat, pretty much getting to the finish line. And the high school, best case scenario, 2024, we will have air conditioning. When? April, May, June, could be October, I don't know. I'm not the contractor. Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, Mr. Shin.
Number 7, student activity account.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, the other class is like, they have like 2,000, 3,000, but only the class of 2024,
Are we
they have
looking-
$12,000.
Are we looking at the high school student activities? Lindbergh, which one?
The high school
Class of 2024.
has 12,000, while the other class have like 2,000 or 1,000 only, so.
It's a great-
I don't
it's a
know
great
why
question.
the number is so high.
It's because the class of 2024 is this year's graduating class. They have the most fundraisers that have been approved over the course of the last few years. They accumulate a larger amount of money. They also have larger expenses. The prom is a very large expense for them. Senior class trips or activities. The younger students, the class of 2027, who is not even there yet, is a freshman class, they have yet to do any fundraising. They will start, and they will start with probably a bake sale, something small, but we don't like to give the larger fundraisers to the younger classes because their payments to any vendors or programs is not as necessary, significant as the older students.
Okay. And number 15, I'm sorry,
Don't
but
be
I
sorry.
have too many questions, but
That's okay.
I think this is the duty and my mission, okay, and this is the Palisades Park residents assigned to me to do this, so.
Yes, sir.
please understand.
Number 15.
Number 15, the resolution is contingent upon receiving ROD grant, right? So with no grant, we don't need, we can replace.
I don't know that to be true, I wouldn't say that publicly, what I can tell you is I am in receipt of a press release. This is a press release, this is not an award letter. We submitted last year with approval from this board, a grant allocation amount, and we're awarded somewhere in the neighborhood of $434,000. This is free money from the state. We submitted a grant application, we got $434,000. I don't have it. The business office does not have it. I have a letter from the Department of Ed that says, you got it. Until I have it, I don't have it. We are saying we would like to fix the roof using that money, but I can't use that money unless I have that money. So the resolution is contingent upon receiving it. Can we fix it? Potentially, but I also don't wanna run our maintenance accounts into the red.
So the damage is not as serious as we
It's-
worried.
it's serious.
Because
We
if
took in a
don't
lot
have
of
the
water.
money, We don't replace the roof.
We
then,
took in a lot of
is it
water again
okay
last
still?
week. We have significant damage, but I went to see Miss Min earlier this week. There's water leaks in her school as well. I apologize.
So
I'm
it's
paying
not
taxes.
something
I feel better when I
we
see
have
other
to
schools
replace.
have the same problems. I'm sorry.
We have to replace the roof.
Absolutely.
Anyway, right?
100%.
With or without that, the grant, right?
Regardless if the grant is there or not, but we don't have to replace it if the grant's not there, we can repair it. If the grant's there and they wanna give me $400,000 to fix it, I'm gonna replace it. But if they're not gonna give me $400,000, I can only repair it.
Okay, so if we receive the grant, we replace it, otherwise, we just repair it with
That is
our money,
correct.
right?
That is correct.
That's why there's the asterisk underneath that says the resolution is contingent upon receiving the grant.
And there was much speculation on whether I could even do that. I did confer with the Department of Education, and the purpose I did that, I spoke to the roofer, who is state contracted. And the plan here is, if tomorrow, the Department of Education issues us an award letter, we don't need a special meeting tomorrow, or it would be after advertising it. We wanna get this project done before the winter, because if we wait even one more month to the October meeting, this project is not gonna happen until the spring. I'm trying to be proactive, I'm trying to think outside the box. If we don't get the money, it doesn't mean we don't fix the project. It means we'll repair it, but not fully replace it.
One more question, number 16.
Yes, it's-
To the
16.
food lease school, yeah. Additionally to the basic tuition, we pay a lot of amount as an additional service to food lease.
There are
Can I
no
have
additional
what the
services for
additional
those
services?
students.
I'm sorry?
No, they were. Fort Lee, there are additional services.
The basic tuition is $36,150 and the additional service is $32,080.
Yes, that's for one-to-one
186
aid,
students.
that's for one-to-one aid and other additional services.
I apologize, I'm looking at the older version.
Yeah.
So on the Fort Lee student, 2243764 student ID, they have a one-to-one aid as required in their IEP. We have to provide an aid. That is the additional service. 263171 student, additional services are both one-to-one partial aid and services required by way of the IEP.
Even with the old version, just the amounts are the same.
Correct.
So,
It wasn't in the right.
they were, yeah, so just had it
Right.
out all under base tuition, but it's the same amount as in the older version.
Correct, thank you.
I just don't know, not very familiar with the salary systems, number 14.
Okay.
So only the teachers on the list, their salary are paid by the grants,
So,
like,
the preschool eligibility or preschool education aid, they are asking us who we are paying out of the grant. So clearly, you can see, people that are 100% paid out of the grant are coming directly from the grant money.
okay.
People that are getting paid 50%, or people that are getting paid 19.5%. Their full salary is not coming from the grant, it is from our general budget,
Actually,
but they need to know who is getting paid by way of the extra money we receive.
okay, so it's a 50-50, it's a 50 from grant, and 50 from our tax levy, right?
That is correct, or general budget, yes,
Thank you.
yes.
If I have a question about the bill list, should I ask now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Bill page number 3. We paid to Palisades Park at $6,000 twice?
I'm sorry, page number 3,
Yes,
and what is the item we are looking at?
$6,000 paid to the Palisades Park ad.
I don't see that on
Page
page
3,
number
bill
3.
list, page 3,
I don't see it on page 3.
at the bottom.
Here's my page 3. I don't have it. Page 3, $6,000.
If you change the version, I may not have it, but, in the one I received on 20,
So this is a approval for athletic. This
Yeah,
is
it's
for our
really-
athletic programs. It doesn't mean we're gonna use the full 6,000. We put an amount of money like we do annually into an account. Any money that's not used carries over into a winter season and or a spring season for sports. This is the athletic account.
so, but, is it pending and, that's the pending for the payment, right? For $6,000.
That money just gets transferred into that athletic account, and then they spend it as needed, based on whatever sports.
Okay.
First Student is one of our providers for our sports.
Mhm.
So if we need more, we have to add more.
Mhm.
If we don't use it, obviously, we would not add as much.
Okay.
So we're more or less encumbering
Mhm.
from our transportation account into an athletic transportation.
Okay. And the second question is, we paid I raised this problem
What page, I'm sorry,
previously,
sir?
the Brown, $1,000 to the Brown and Brown.
Yes,
That's the consulting fee we paying like every week, every month.
that is correct.
So $12,000 a year. I checked some other towns and like Portland hired Brown and Brown as an insurance agent. Okay, so they don't pay additional money to the Brown and Brown because the Brown and Brown is the insurance agent. But we have insurance agent, and additionally, to cover that, we pay additional $1,000 as whatever, the compliance fee or whatever it is. So this year is okay, but next year we have to think of again, paying to the Brown and Brown additional money, $1,000 per month.
I'm not sure, are you asking me a question?
The Portland is hired Brown and Brown.
I don't
as
make
a-
the recommendation on Brown and Brown. That was something the board decided. I cannot recommend advisors. That was something the board decided. That was not my recommendation.
Yeah, but Dr. Cyril, we discussed about this. okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we know the history about the Brown and Brown, okay? So
Yes.
I'm not asking you not pay to the money to the Brown and Brown, but because if it is absolutely necessary money or not, we have to reconsider again, because other town doesn't pay this kind of money to the Brown and Brown, okay? But only our town is paying, so
I don't know.
we
if
have
that's
to
true.
think about whether it is
If
extra
memory
money or
serves,
not.
we discussed this, I think it was in the spring, and the whole purpose.
So
of
this
the-
year, I okay.
No, what I'm trying to explain is that they do serve a function, and the function that they serve does end up saving the district money. And, I believe it was their recommendation that we switch to the state plan, if I remember correctly, to the state insurance plan. So they have made recommendations, and they do charge us a lower fee than they do charge other towns. So I don't know if I agree with your assessment that we're the only district that's paying Brown and Brown. I don't know if
That's correct.
accurate.
I can get you a list of pen districts, but
I
again,
think
it's not my
we were provided with
recommendation.
a list when we did before Brown and Brown, so there were multiple other districts that paid similar fees, and actually we pay a lower fee
Excess.
because we've been with them for so long, so we pay a lower fee than what other districts do.
So yeah, Brown and Brown is like an insurance agent, okay, so,
You're not, they're brokerage.
insurance agent and insurance broker. So the other towns use it, Brown and Brown as like agent, so they don't pay the consulting fee, but just our town is paying to the Brown and Brown, so we have to check whether it is absolutely necessary or not. This year we approved already, so there is no way to change it, but the next year I would like to ask you to consider again, okay? That's what I want.
You did, I wasn't here, okay.
Are we done with finance?
Any other
Moving on to the
discussions?
next topic?
Any, comment or question? If you don't have, we are going to move to, building and ground.
I'm sorry, one more question.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry to, but, the yearly deposit, $20,000, we put the yearly deposit, right? What is, in bill list, what is that money?
Mr. Shin, what page are we referring to and what item?
Page 6.
6? I have two on there.
For the transportation, for the school bus service, I think, we paid like $20,000 as a deposit. So I just wanna know when we are getting this deposit back. Is the yearly deposit, so every year we deposit $20,000 as a deposit, and when we get refund those deposit money?
That is determined on that South Bergen Jointure Commission, those are transportation provided for our special education out of district. In the event we exceed, the amounts that I proposed or the recommendation shows on the finance resolutions could fluctuate, it could go up or down, there could be inclement
Yeah,
weather
I
in the winter and
understand,
school
I
can be
understand.
closed.
Yeah.
Again, we are giving them a deposit, in the event we don't use all of that money, they're audited like we are, and they will refund us the money. The
So-
money will not go away.
Okay. So that, if there is any balance from that deposit, they should
Abs-
refund that money.
absolutely.
And we have to take that as an income, right?
Absolutely. Or a credit to next year, because if we're using them as a service provider again, we would have a credit.
Was it happened before?
To the
Is
best
this
of my
first
knowl-
time we
To the
put
best of my
deposit?
knowledge, it probably has happened. I'm sure there has been situations where we approved payments for transportation and then COVID happened, and we did not use buses. No one was in school. I'm sure we were reimbursed a substantial amount of money if we made a deposit and/or a credit was issued. The money does not go missing.
Okay. Okay, so we have to trace what will happen every year, right?
Yes, sir.
Gotta trace,
I'll trace.
Okay.
please. Let's see if we, make sure all of our encumbrances have been appropriately spent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Other
I'm done. No more.
Okay, let's go to, building and ground, Anthony Kim, please.
I have two items to be approved. First, there's gonna be car wash sponsored by the senior class on Saturday, September 30th, this year. Next, there's a scheduled PTA meeting every second Tuesday of every month, beginning in October through 2023 through next year, June 11th.
Okay, other question? Yes,
The PTA meeting schedule is in building department's work.
Is in the what?
The building department, number 2, PTA meeting schedule is in building department's work, but I don't think it's applied to that work, yeah. So it rather than like the,
It is in the buildings and grounds. They're using our building. They are requesting the use of our school for their meetings. It does belong there.
Would you recommend those?
okay,
So I don't remember the calendar for 2024, so
Yes.
April 9th is not in the spring break, right?
April 9th, I will check right now, miss.
It's April 1st through the 5th, I believe.
Yeah, it was very early that next year, so probably it should be okay. Just wanna make sure.
I'm sure we can always tentatively change the dates, but I will check while we're here.
Thank you.
No problem.
any other questions?
Our spring break this year is the 1st through the 5th. April 9th is okay.
First two weeks.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's 7 o'clock, are we going into a regular session now, or is it, do we end the work session even though we haven't completed? No? Okay.
We hope so.
I would say,
Okay.
like, if we reported as immediately following.
Okay.
Right. Okay, if you don't have any question, let's move to, personnel.
I have two
Any
items on
exclamation?
consent agenda, appointment of staff.
Do you have any questions? Okay, we are going to move to the negotiate curriculum. Mr. Lim, please.
Pardon?
Uh-huh.
I have one item with consent agenda.
Okay, any other questions? If not, move to the negotiation, Mr. Kevin Lim.
We don't have any, items for consent agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lim. Next one will be Polish, Miss Agnieszka Garcia.
I have no report.
Okay, let's go on to, New Jersey School Board's liaison, alternate, Sujung.
No, I don't have a report to share.
Okay. Next, County School Board Rep, alternate Helen Chung, please.
I don't have any report.
Okay. Next, the School Safety and Security Committee, Agnieszka Garcia, please.
I just have a brief update, it's not really a report. By law, within the first 10 days of school, we are required to conduct evacuation drills. And I just want to report that those evacuation drills were conducted and successfully completed, and we are within compliance of New Jersey law.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Garcia. Okay, now we are going to close the work session and open the regular meeting. May I please have a motion to close the work session and open the regular meeting?
I make a motion to close and open the regular meeting.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, of course. Now, next, we are going to start report of the board's president. I'd like to commend all the faculty members and school administrators and, you know, principals and Dr. Cirillo for the phenomenal job they did to prepare for the start of the new school year. Okay, thank you very much. And next, report of the superintendent, Dr. Cirillo.
Thank you, Ms. Min. I too, I echo those comments and sentiments. Our successful opening was a credit due to first and foremost families, parents, guardians, our students. It was great to see everyone back in the building. A lot of happy faces, some tears that have now been removed, I guess, but it's expected. Really a smooth opening, to say the least. It was extremely hot. Obviously, that first week back was sweltering. So I think when we recommend the calendar next year, don't be surprised that the first couple days might be half days again. We were close to sending our teachers home, but we survived. With that being said, I'm very much looking forward to a very successful school year. A lot of great programs. I thank the board for their efforts and, again, the community for their ongoing support.
Thank you, Dr. Cirillo. Next one, report of the board attorney, John.
Report.
Okay, thanks anyway.
You're welcome.
Okay, now I'm going to move to the approval of board minutes for August 30, 2023 special meeting minutes. May I please have a motion on that?
I make a motion for approval of the board minutes.
Second.
Is there any further discussions? If not, roll call please.
Yoon Men,
Yes?
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
I wasn't there. I didn't
you can
participate.
Yep. Ellen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, now we are going to move to the committee appointments. Let's start with Finance, William Kim.
Make a motion to approve, consent agenda items 1 through 7 and 9 through 16, with amendment for number 8. That amendment would be for a prorating of 4 months for English school choice transportation, for the amount of $78,644 until we can further discuss options.
Second on that,
I second.
any discussions? Roll call please.
Yoon Men,
Yes?
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Chung,
Yes.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next will be building and ground committee, Anthony Kim.
I need two items to make a list to be approved. Car wash sponsored by the senior class. PT's, meeting schedule, except I believe, what, April 9th to 2024.
I second.
Any discussions? If not, roll call please.
Yunman,
Yes?
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, personnel, Agnieszka Garcia.
I have two items on consent agenda for personnel. I make a motion for approval.
Second.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yunman,
Yes?
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shen.
Okay. Next one will be curriculum, Rebecca Lee.
There's one item on the consent agenda, I'd like to move to get it approved.
I second.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yunman,
Yes?
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shen.
Yes.
Thank you. Next one, negotiation, Kevin Lim.
We don't have any items for consent agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lim. Okay, next one is policy, Agnieszka Garcia.
No report.
Thank you. Next one would be, New Jersey, Angel School Board Liaison Alternator, Susan.
Don't have a report.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Zhang. Okay, next one, County School Board Rep Alternate, Ms. Helen Chan. I have no report. Okay, thank you, Ms. Zhang. Next, School Safety and Security, Agnieszka Garcia.
Nothing to add other than what I've already just said, the just evacuation drills have been completed and we are compliant with New Jersey state law.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll go into old business. Dr. Surya.
I do have one item, as discussed last month. There were originally two groups who showed or expressed interest to visit our schools, the junior, senior high school specifically. Unfortunately, one group cannot make it. So we are down to one group that is still seeking approval for visitation. Since we have a no visitor policy, I would ask that the board consider the group to join us on October 23rd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I did share with the board members the program and it was a world language program from South Korea. And they would be with us for 2 hours. Unfortunately, the extent of their visit would be limited to probably the cafeteria and the auditorium because we do have testing in the building and we cannot interfere with state testing. So I would ask the board to consider that approval for visitation on October 23rd at 9 a.m.
So we are going to PSA.
That would be a new business.
Okay.
Yes,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Okay. And new business.
Well, old business, I need a resolution, please,
Okay.
for the visit. Yes.
The school gave up, decided not to come.
One group decided they cannot make it, their schedule has changed. The other group is joining us or would like to join us with your approval.
So the middle school canceled, the high school comes.
That is correct.
How many kids coming?
Yes.
It is approximately 120. Yeah.
Big groups.
Yeah.
Just for your information,
Yes.
that the school gave up, in August, they went the other school in United States, not our school. So they came in August.
Which
Why?
group, the first group or the
The
second?
Guam Middle School.
The one that canceled?
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the reason they canceled, so,
Yeah, they reached out to me in the summer. Unfortunately, we didn't have students in the building in August, nor did we have a building that was capable of receiving, students. We were under major construction. I could not open our buildings to any group, unfortunately, during that time.
actually, that's their, like, the summer vacation activity, while it was done, during the summer vacation, so we don't have any school, those time, that time, so there's nothing to do with us, just for your information.
Thank you. Any motion or a second and a roll call for the visitation on October 23rd?
Can we make a motion on that?
I'd like to make a motion for, to approve for the South Korean High School to visit our school district on October 23rd.
Okay, second on that?
Second.
Helen, second.
Okay. Any discussion about it?
I'm just curious in terms of safety and,
Yes.
any COVID protocols, the numbers are inching up, so.
So we would obviously work with our local health department in the event she is concerned, on any visitors,
Okay.
they would advise us accordingly.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Okay. Any other discussion? If it's not, roll call please.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now,
New business.
new business.
Just a quick question, on old business we had discussed, the criteria, we're still in need of a student rep. And, we had reached out, or Dr. Cirillo had reached out to NJSBA in terms of what the best criteria is. According to NJSBA, it should be elected by the students, given that the whole purpose of having the student rep is to have the students have a voice on the board. So, they're reaching out to, the principals, and there will be an election, I guess, we'll work out the logistics, but there will be an election, and the students will be electing their own student reps, just FYI to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. New business?
New business, I do ask the board for one further resolution, October 24th. We are conducting the annual PSAT for all students in grades 10 and 11. I am asking for a delayed opening for students in grades 7, 8, 9, and 12 at the junior, senior high school. They will be following the delayed opening schedule, because we are assessing all 10th and 11th. The number of proctors, examiners, and bell schedule is much, needed to be delayed, for all other students, so I would ask the board to consider that.
Do we need a resolution on that?
Please.
I'll make a motion for a delayed opening on October 24th.
Second on that?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion about that? If not, roll call please.
Yunman,
Yes.
Iniesta Garcia,
Yes.
Sue Chung,
Yes.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
Okay,
And just for the record, appropriate information and guidance will be shared with families so they're aware of this change in our schedule. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then, can I please have a motion to open audience participation?
I make a motion to open to our audience participation.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, can you please be reminded 3 minutes, and then, please tell your name and address. Yes, ma'am.
Neripa Potter for 4 Glen Avenue. I have a question for Agnieszka about if she have any new security purpose for the school now that it's a new school year, in regard, security of entering the building, and if we still have the officer in the school, I haven't heard about that. If we still have that. And also I have a question not a question, I'm kind of concerned about the AC issue. I know that, starting school year, it was no AC, something out of hand. It's not like we have control over that, but I consider it, that is considered as health-wide, like emergency. If it was like a heat wave, we should not open the school for our student because it was like extremely considering hot. The day was recommended place to go to keep yourself cool. It was like really extremely hot. So I really liked, in the future, I know Dr. Cirillo mentioned there is no date for the part to come. It's not in his hand. But I really feel if it's an emergency, why we should consider it not of half-day school. Because half-day school, if a kid have a health issue with heat wave, it should be a problem. And also even the staff member, it was like extremely hot. Valerie get home, she feel dizzy. It was like a very, I think it wasn't safety for them. I understand it was the first day and we wanna keep the schedule going on. But I really think that we should consider that for future. Hopefully we have a part to come, but if it's in that case, I really feel that. And I have another question regarding the test. If this is mandatory for the test for the 10th grader, because I know we mentioned in the past about taking those tests. If this is a mandatory taking test or that's a choice from the parent?
I will answer after
Thank you,
that.
later, not right now. Anyone else?
Oh, I'm sorry. And regarding the bathroom of, I know we fixed the bathroom and this gymnasium that is get fixed, but it's been seen like doing, we have students like stay for sport, like extra school, like doing volleyball and that. And I'm been receiving a lot of complaints from the students that the bathroom is locked after school. So I think it should be open for them, if they need to use the bathroom doing sport activity, they should be able to use it at that time because, for them to hold or just run out and find a bathroom, it should be a little bit inconvenient for them and also should not be like that. It should be open during a time that the students are in the building to, to have it open.
Okay, anyone else?
Yes, Noemi Rivera, 512 Glen Avenue. I have a question about next meeting. Will we be seeing more personnel listed as a recommendation for employment for teachers, IEPs, paraprofessionals? I know that there's a shortage nationwide, but we have pre-K teachers without aides, and it's a safety issue.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Right here.
Oh, yes.
Hi, my name is Karen Halleck. I'm 54 West Etzel. I also have a question about the safety, and I also wanted to know about the aides, because it's not fair to the teacher and it's not fair to the students for this teacher to have all these kids and be totally overwhelmed without having an aide. And when we first came to orientation, we were told that this one specific teacher would have an aide. The week came by, never happened, then it was gonna be the following week, and it still hasn't happened. And my kid happens to be in that class, so it's very concerning to me that there's no aide. And I also have a few issues as far as safety in both ECC and at Lindbergh. Even to be honest, even at the high school, I wanted to know as far as bathrooms. I know you have bathrooms throughout the school. How are those bathrooms monitored? Because I know there was an issue where something happened in the bathroom, and it's astonishing to me that a video was recorded and this whole big thing brewed up and no one heard, no one saw. It was able to be recorded and is distributed, and no one knew what was happening. So that's concerning to me, because if that were to happen to my child and they were in the bathroom and no one was able to protect them, it's crazy that no one heard it, no one saw anything that happened. And kind of the same situation at Lindbergh. The smaller children are let out to play during recess, and they are let out in this humongous playground. It's like the field or whatever. I don't think there's enough aides to watch the amount of children out there. There's stuff that happens that teachers do not see, the aides do not see. There's corners that the little kids go and God knows what they do. But there's also been a situation where something happened that shouldn't have happened. Where were the teachers? Why is nobody watching? I mean, they don't have eyes behind their heads. It's not enough people to see what's going on, so that's very concerning, again, because my child is also at that school. And here at ECC, when we let the kids go in the morning, there's a numerous amount of parents back there, and I'm always wondering, I have to leave because I have to drop off my other child at another school, so I only have until a specific time, and then I have to leave because it's crazy here in the morning. I have to leave my 4-year-old here, and I don't even know who I'm leaving her with half the time. The aide may be outside, the aide may not be outside. My concern is, am I ever gonna get a call that my kid disappeared? Because all these parents are hanging out, and when they say everybody leave, it's just a swarm of people leaving at once. I think it's really easy to grab somebody's child and just walk right out and no one would ever know. Nobody's watching, nobody's, and then sometimes that gate is not even closed right away. Anybody could just walk in. The back door of the school is not closed immediately. Anybody can walk right in. It hasn't happened, but it can. So that's really concerning to me as well.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I had a lot to say.
Anyone else? Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Patricia.
We can
Bove.
see you.
My name is Patricia Bove and I live in 10 Henry Avenue. And to piggyback off of what Karen said, I'm very concerned about the safety in ECC because yesterday, during drop-off, we were right on time, 8:10. There was a little girl crying. Normal, it's the beginning of the school, and I think because of her crying, another little girl started crying. She was crying hysterical. Only the teacher's aide comes out, then all the kids start crying. It's trickling down, it's normal. The teacher's aide, in one hand has supplies, and the other hand has supplies, then is holding the two kids that are crying the most. And then there's a boatload of kids in the class. She's unable to grab the other kids. My son is acting a little nervous, so I'm holding him. She's trying to get all the kids inside. There's some kids in front of her, she's holding the two kids, then there's a few kids in back of her. Then there's a teacher, another class right next to Mr. Soto's class outside.
Right, we can't mention
Oh,
teachers or
sorry.
anyone by name.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
She's asking for help because a few of her kids are on the floor crying hysterical. Then she has a whole bunch of supplies on the floor, and she's asking for help. Then she's asking the security guard for help, and she was like, "Do you know where so and so is?" And he was like, "I don't know." And then she was like, "I need help," and he was like, "I don't know where they are." Then someone comes out, and she's like, "Oh, I'll help you with the supplies." The teacher's aide in my son's class is now going in. A few kids in the front, her holding supplies, and two kids, and holding one kid with one hand and then another kid with another hand. Kids in back of her. The kids shouldn't have been in back of her. All the kids should have been in front of her. I put my son down, I'm walking away at this point because we're supposed to leave. My son is just left at the door. The entire class goes in, the teacher goes in, and then the teacher's aide goes in, and then other classes are going in, and my son was left by the door, not knowing. And my son, he's 3 years old, and he's autistic. So I grabbed my son, and I walked him inside to his classroom. And there was no one there to even stop me. No one noticed that I was a parent, grabbing my son and walking him inside his classroom. That shouldn't have been. That's super unsafe, and it happened to my own son, who it can happen to anyone's child. And I understand that parents, we shouldn't be in the playroom during drop-off. We should just drop off and go. But if I can be honest with each and every one of you, I'm not going to leave, because what happened with my son, seeing him there, confused, looking around, and he's 3 years old. He doesn't know any better, autistic or not. But he's 3 years old, plus autistic. How am I supposed to trust dropping off my child and then leaving? Because I witnessed this right in front of me. And this was all in like a 15-20 minute span of the teacher's aide having issues, and then the class next to me having issues. She couldn't manage all the children. It's just completely unsafe.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. If not, May I please have a motion to close audience participation? And Serena, can you answer each question?
I make a motion to close audience participation.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will do my very best, but I don't think I can answer all the questions. I can apologize first. I can tell you that these are all teachable moments, and we are, I'm gonna take this first thing in the morning and work with our administration to ensure, number one, safety is always a priority, okay, across the board. I'm not gonna go in order. There was a lot of concern about safety at all three schools. I will address that with the administrators, with the supervisors, with the faculty and staff. But as far as security, yes, our three schools do remain to be guarded by our uniformed officers, as well as an SRO from the police department. We also have periodic walkthroughs from the Palisades Park Police. I received a call at 7 o'clock last night. Would it be okay to go tomorrow? They know they don't need my permission. These are not my schools. The police have access to our buildings. They should have access to our buildings and periodically walk the schools and should. And I'm gonna encourage they continue that. As far as the air conditioning, I can tell you wholeheartedly, I'm constantly working with my colleagues, with superintendents in and around the state, or more closely Bergen County. Many districts went with a half day on the first couple days of school because of the heat index. That's something we've done in the past. It's something I will do in the future. We were fortunate that we had half days for students. I spoke to our union president potentially about even faculty going home. If it falls under safety, if we deem the buildings to be unsafe, I'll close the school. We're not gonna take those chances. We, again, had half days in place. Otherwise, I can guarantee to you it would have been a major inconvenience for families, but I would have went with that route as well for our students. As far as the PSAT, it is not mandatory. This is a college board assessment. It is highly encouraged that all 10th and 11th grade students take the test, but it is not mandatory. Bathrooms, I will speak to our administration and athletic department about keeping that restroom open after hours. They need a facility. Legally, it requires a facility to be open. Clearly, it's our newest facility and we want to take care of it. Doesn't mean you lock it. We need students to be able to use the restroom, so we will speak to them. As far as personnel and faculty, I know there weren't many resolutions, and that's actually a good thing in a sense of we're fully staffed, but not by way of our teacher aides. There is a shortage. We have every teacher approved. There are no current vacancies to my recollection. I hope I didn't just jinx it, because I know how the revolving door is. Someone may resign tomorrow. But the reality is there is a need for teacher aides. We did outsource with an agency. I know that they are still recruiting people. People were collecting unemployment in the month of August. They did not fill out their paperwork in the month of July as instructed, or even June when we had our meeting, and they're clearly not ready to work today. It doesn't mean that we're not actively searching for more aides. I know tomorrow there's a back to school night. They've asked permission to set up a table, almost like a recruiting opportunity. And I encourage it. They're gonna have signs. I'm okay with it. We are welcoming any help we can get. Again, I'm not gonna diminish the safety piece. The biggest takeaway here tonight was there needs to be more vigilance, more security, more eyes and ears. No one should be stepping foot in our building. No parent unless they have a meeting. We have a no visitor policy for a reason. That's trespassing as far as I'm concerned. But regardless, this is an opportunity to, number one, meet with our school safety committee personnel. Number two, meet with our police department. And if we need assistance from them at drop-off to clear what might be a fire risk, then that's what we do. But again, I'm grateful, even though it's not all positive information, I'm grateful that you're bringing these concerns here. I would ask that in the future, please, 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 if the meeting's happening 3 weeks from now, don't wait 3 weeks, it's not gonna get better. Go to the respective building principals immediately. Come to my office or call me. Fortunately, or unfortunately, a lot of these things happened in the last couple of days, and we're here tonight. We're not back until October 18th, I believe. Don't wait till that night. If it doesn't get better, please come back. I'm not trying to stop you from coming here, but we need to know about it immediately so we can address it. And I will promise you, there will be more eyes and ears starting tomorrow morning.
Dr. Sherman?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask you to check tomorrow, because at Lindbergh, the double and triple parking is getting ridiculous.
Where? In the front of the
At
building?
Lindbergh? Yes,
So-
at pickup. The few days ago, there was what do you call it, truck, the nursery, like the lawn care.
Yep.
They stopped
Landscaper.
right in front of the main entrance,
Yep.
wouldn't move until their child came
What
out.
about police
What,
officer
20
for it?
minutes, 30 minutes?
I will call the police department and make
Yeah,
them
the
aware of
police
this.
officer should go around.
I will
It's
make them
really,
aware.
really, really bad, and kids are running out, they're driving, a lot of kids are like, oh my god, there's a car coming.
I will make the police more aware of this concern. No problem, thank you. I do need to go into closed session.
Okay. So, can we have a motion to close audience participation?
Well, we're closed
And
already.
we are going to close, this, audience participation. And, open, go into, closed session.
For the
Can I have a
record,
mo-
there is no formal action to be taken, after closed session, so if you choose to go home and enjoy this spring-like weather, we will see you soon. If not, we probably need about 15 minutes or so. Do you have a motion to go into closed?
Can we have a motion to
go
close?
into closed session?
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.